man, I've just worked so hard to graduate top of my class, and now I'm going to try to get into my dream university. I think it's a pretty popular topic where people are now denying the legitimacy and effectiveness of going to university or college and getting a degree. So today we're going to be talking about whether you actually need it. Is it still relevant? Can you be a money printing Lambo Miami penthouse dude with university, or do you not need it? It's the Australian dream, you know, work hard in school, get into your dream university, do really well, get a stable job, work up the ranks, make a whole lot of money, get a wife, get some kids, go through your first divorce, and there you have it. So back then, university was a golden ticket. It guaranteed you a good job. It kind of separated you from others, but now it's a little bit oversaturated, and universities are kind of looked at more as a business. I mean, Australia, I'm not sure if it still is, but education was our biggest export. Whole lot of international students coming down. The local students are just tacking it on their HECS debt. And now I'm someone who has actually gone through the whole school and university process, and I don't really necessarily use my degree. So today I'm going to be talking about whether university is actually still relevant or if you can do something better. Now it's a little bit cursed because it's so oversaturated and every man and his dog has a degree, and you're on LinkedIn, it's a massive circle jerk of people bragging about their achievements, and people spam ChatGPT applying for jobs. And I mean, you've got to apply for 100, and some lady in HR looks at your resume that you spent so much time on for 2 seconds, and because her menopause told her that she's not really interested in you, you don't even get a look. And it is hard to actually get a job, and does university even guarantee you anything? So we'll start with the good, the benefits of university. I think some professions, you definitely still need it. You can't be a ChatGPT or self-taught lawyer, doctor, engineer, any of those real hectic fields. But for other things like, you know, there's a lot of entrepreneurial, innovative, business stuff going on. It's like, do you actually need that these days? You see, a lot of the people saying, bro, is university worth it? They've just had no discipline and a bad work ethic to begin with. And that's the overarching point of this video I want to talk about. Discipline, you need whether you're at uni or you're not at uni, because if you decide not to do it, you've got to have your own structure to constantly be sharpening the blade and learning and getting better and learning skills, which can often be harder without the structure and legitimacy and the systems in place that university provides. So what I want to say is, if you're not like personally and internally having that sense of initiative, university can be really good because it provides those modules and that structure, and there's no one kind of chasing you up. But if you don't submit what you need to submit, no one's spoon feeding you. You need to do it. So it does teach you some sort of discipline, work ethic and structure. I mean, the internet is out there and you can learn a lot of things yourself, but you do need that discipline and that initiative to go and get after it and actually be aware of what you need to learn in the first place. Whereas university can help a lot with that structure there, and they kind of give it to you. Either way though, you're gonna need discipline to get the most out of it no matter what. There's these people in school that are like, give up because they're like, oh, school's not made for me anyway, school won't help me in the future. That might be true in rare circumstances, but I feel like those are also the kids that use that as a cop-out for why they're not gonna try, and they're just gonna twiddle their thumbs. Like, if you're not gonna do school, you're not gonna do uni. I hope you have that fire under your ass and just desire to go and get better and learn things. So that's what I'm saying. Like, not everybody is there to be an entrepreneur or really go and get after it. Some people, yes, but other people, it's just a work ethic cop-out. So I think it teaches you delayed gratification, which so many people could actually do with a great deal of, because it is a hard skill to learn. Whether it's a trade or you're at TAFE or something like that, there is structure there. It will teach you. You got things to submit. It's not like school where your teacher's chasing you up, where's your homework, buddy? If you don't submit, you fail the unit, and then that gets whacked onto your university debt. So you kind of got to figure it out for yourself. And speaking from experience, the whole entrepreneurial, creative, working for yourself thing, it's a lonely game, and you can have mentors out there and things, but you do need a great deal of self-motivation, self-discipline, because I don't know, there's no like guidebook, there's no rules, there's no set path for how to do it, whereas university does have that. So don't go into it expecting it's going to be a whole lot easier, because as someone who's done both, I think it's a lot harder. So in essence, I think it provides structured learning, employability, and some sort of legitimacy. You now have this piece of paper that costs you $50,000 that supposedly separates you from others, and maybe you might be a little bit more of a valuable human being. It is imperative that you consider course selection, because you're going to be spending a lot of money on this and a lot of time. So you want to make sure it's actually going to help you in your future. Not to hate, but if you're considering things like an arts degree or anything similar, it's like, do you really need to spend 3 years to learn how to write essays and possibly like pretty impractical skills that won't really help you for the future? I don't really think so. I was a big fan of my degrees. I did finance, economics. They taught me really hard technical number skills, things that do actually help me with my business today. I'm pretty good with the Excel spreadsheets and figuring out if my business is actually making money. I think things like that go a long way, even like engineering. Engineering teaches you how to be a practical problem solver, good with numbers. The world always needs people like that, and you can apply that in so many different domains. As hard as it is, just think about, what do I actually want to be doing in the future? Where do I see myself? If you have a particular goal for your career, whether it's owning a business, think, will this university degree actually help me get there? I think it's less about the knowledge and more that this piece of paper and your transcript by the end of it actually showing someone that you're able to hold up these high standards. You can hustle, you can grind, you've got that grit about you. It might be a hard course, you got technical number skills. It shows someone, man, this guy's got a deep bag when it comes to knowledge and intellectual capacity. There's a common saying, P's get degrees, and for those people, I think, dude, your time's gonna be better spent not at university, do something else. I think you wanna get the most out of it, actually learn knowledge, apply it, go above and beyond, get a killer academic transcript. For those who don't know what it is, it's like your weighted average mark by the end of it all. So if you can get a real killer one, that'd be awesome. And you actually got something out of it because you're going to be spending the same amount of money anyway. So I think, why not actually kill it and not just go through the motions? They thought it would get us jobs, but instead it got us anxiety, debt, and a crippling caffeine addiction. I mean, you spend 3 years learning how to write an essay, but you realize AI can do it by the end of it. These aren't really skills that are going to help us in the future. So there definitely are some key negatives when it comes to university, and that's a lot of these courses are kind of prehistoric. Some things are age old, like whether it's engineering formulas and maths and actual skills of how to figure things out like that is good, but maybe some things like an arts degree or marketing, marketing's all like organic social media stuff, and I'm not sure there's really any university degree that's up to date with learning that stuff. And even if there is, I feel like you learn that stuff better by actually doing it and having a TikTok account and getting it big and learning how to monetize. Like, that's effective marketing learning, whereas a lot of the stuff that you learn in the textbooks, I don't think it's going to help you much. So a big one is a lot of that stuff is outdated. The second one is, you guys know I'm big on actually doing to learn. Whether it's getting ready for your exam, you're better off doing practice equations or practice exams rather than just trying to memorize, because then you actually don't understand, you're just drawing on recall, and that's not actually helpful. So I think university, a massive deficiency of it is like no application and no practical element to it. Sometimes you have placement and stuff like that for nursing, which is definitely good. We need our nurses, but whether it's business or marketing, I don't think there's a massive like application thing. I mean, for me, like, my degrees didn't teach me anything for how to run a business. It just taught me like the technical things to know in the background. So I guess it's also going to be taking up a whole lot of your time. So you won't actually have that much time to do anything else. You won't have, I mean, you could really grind and sacrifice your sleep, but you want to be balancing your health and fitness and also maximizing your marks. But that doesn't leave you much time to get real world experience or make money or work on a side hustle. So it is quite time cumbersome. So you're going to be spending 3+ years on a university course. So just think about, am I wanting to prioritize this for the next 3 years? Or would I rather get some real world experience and try and build a business or something? The last one is the money, and the golden age was back in the day where your parents got a free university education because it was all government funded. But no, even though the government front us the education, the loan and everything, it is not free. It is crippling debt. I mean, you get out of university and you've probably incurred at least $40,000. My course, I think my HECS debt's up to like $65,000. It's ridiculous. One subject when I was doing university was like $1,300. Let me know what it is now, but this stuff isn't cheap. So just don't make the unconscious decision and go into a university course because you're following blindly, you're going through the motions. Just really think, am I getting my money's worth here, or would I rather spend 50 grand doing something else? Right, cameraman Luca just had a really good point.
I've just wrapped up school and it was a bit of a hard one for me too, but the real takeaway of it for me was, take a year or so to discover yourself. Unless you're seriously passionate about doing something, it's not worthwhile spending the time and significant amount of money too, incurring such a debt and not living life to the fullest to do something that you don't love, you're not fully invested in, because at the end of the day, majority of people end up transferring and doing another course because they just rushed into it to satisfy their parents or just to have a level of self-fulfillment. But really, you are young. You're only 18 years old, maybe 19, whatever it may be, and you've got your whole life ahead of you to decide. You don't have to find your profession at the age of 18, 19 years old. You can take some time off, discover yourself a little, and then it's always an option still at the end of the day. It's something to fall back on for me, as opposed to something to be my primary option, because nothing screams out at me. That's the best way to put it. And if it doesn't scream out at you, I wouldn't bother wasting the time doing it, because the money more than anything. I mean, it doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately. So I've just taken a bit of time to start loving life, finding what I'm passionate and interested in, learn a bit more about myself, and then that can sort of guide you, and you can really figure out whether that's what you want to do at the end of the day. And also, as Gab was saying, in terms of the outdatedness, of course, the only thing I'm remotely interested in would be exercise science, but now I can see there are so many avenues and other ways around it, and gateways into the community that can put you on a much higher pedestal than a university degree ever would, and without having to spend 3 to 4 years. Yeah, more than anything, majority of the advice, knowing what I know because it's something I'm interested in and have gone and done my research on, I've come to learn that it's all outdated, it's all non-factual, and they don't care to update it either. That's that for me.
I think Luca needs his own YouTube channel, guys. He's very well spoken, has some good ideas, but that is another point, is just how bureaucratic universities are. I mean, they're money-making businesses run by dinosaurs. So just think about how long it would actually take for that new knowledge and new age stuff to get passed down into the courses and the textbooks and things, because there are going to be people who are like, oh, TikTok this, TikTok that, or new age exercise science protocols and this and that. Like, it will take a while for it to get passed down to the students, and therefore the stuff that you're actually learning. So for me, there was actually a set of secondary benefits that came with university. It wasn't the classes, it wasn't the learning, but it was the first sense of independence, the network, the friends, the international experience through exchange. I mean, that was probably the best experience of my life. That's what really was the catalyst for me to go from a skinny boy to a big boy in Malaysia, meeting lots of friends, traveling to different countries. I got the travel bug after that, and that's actually when I started social media and started my business. So I think university definitely does provide a lot of that. My only tip would be just make sure your network and development isn't spent at 5 nights a week at the university bar. So there are some alternatives to university, but you kind of got to find the answers yourself. And I basically did this after university. My degrees were good, but I had to teach myself a lot of skills. So you can learn some high ROI stuff like video editing or coding, how to create a website, e-commerce kind of skills, and you can kind of teach yourself everything off the internet. I mean, YouTube is incredible, it's all free. AI as well. Or you can try to find someone you look up to, like a mentor, get in their mentorship, just make sure it's not a scammy course selling person who actually hasn't achieved the things and they're just like literally funding their lifestyle by selling you the course, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just make sure they're legitimate and have a good read on their character, but there are kind of resources out there for you to learn things that you can't actually learn in university. For me, I've literally taught myself almost professional grade videography, how to use a camera, editing, how to do the complete back end of a business, and now I can teach other people in my team how to do that as well. And I mean, none of that was through university. I was all through complete free knowledge and literally just having the hustle to teach myself that. Another thing you can do is find successful people you admire. Don't copy them, but see where they're at now and try to trace the steps behind. Maybe you can look at their LinkedIn or go through their really old posts, see what they were at, see what they were doing. Were they doing a certain course? Were they posting content like this? Maybe try to emulate it a little bit and have your own spin on it. But you could try to just see what path they took, and that might give you a little bit of inspiration for your own, whether it's uni or your own kind of creative pursuits. Discipline's going to be the differentiator for you to actually succeed in it. If you do need a little bit of structure with the things I specialize in, we got the gym programs, we got the meal plans. They're all super effective. Pour my blood, sweat and tears in that, so you don't have to keep going around in circles. No more wasting time, actual proven results. And I'm not charging an arm and a leg for it. It's literally like $50 one-time payment, and you get a whole lot of benefit out of it. Also, top secret, but I have been working on a little venture since America. When I was with Kalani, we've both been working on something. The name, Ascend Performance. Leave the guesses in the comments for what you actually think it is, but that might be the more tailored experience that you need to help lock in and become the best version of yourself. It's a whole lot more than what you probably think it is. We're not just bodybuilder, meathead. We like to think, we like the mental health, we like the mentality, mindset. I'm just honestly really looking forward to it because I think this is going to be the avenue that we can provide the most value to people, as well as his YouTube videos, which I do hope you enjoy this one. A little bit more of that academia, life topics that we're talking about. So thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.